Tonight on News Prime, Tinubu backs two-state solution in Gaza, demands end to Israeli aggression. Federal government moves to tackle building collapses, vows strict sanctions. In business, Central Bank of Nigeria data shows currency in circulation sustains growth at 4.3 trillion naira. On the foreign scene, Putin offers African countries Russia's total support. And tonight in sports, Premier League referee Kute suspended over alleged video. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmofwebe. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nightcomsat. Tonight, we begin by telling you President Bola Tinubu in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, has called for an end to Israeli aggression in Gaza. The president warned that empty condemnations are not enough to end the conflict in Palestine, which he said has persisted for far too long. The Nigerian leader made these arguments at the extraordinary Arab Islamic Summit convened to address the current situation in the Middle East. President Tinubu expressed deep concern over the humanitarian conditions in Gaza. The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC), Joe Ajaero, has directed state councils where the 70,000 naira new minimum wage is not being fully implemented to begin an indefinite strike from December 1, 2024. NLC president stated this in a communique at the end of its National Executive Council meeting in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, warning that it would not accept a situation where Rivers State workers are made victims of the ongoing political crisis in the state by withholding funds meant for payment of workers' salaries and other benefits. This comes as the Congress called on the federal government to review all perceived anti-people policies, noting that the policies are forcing Nigerians into destitution. Barring any unforeseen circumstance, the late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, would be buried in Abuja on Friday. This was made known by late Lagbaja's immediate elder brother, Moshood Lagbaja, in Osogbo, Osun State capital. Speaking during a condolence visit by St. Charles Grammar School, Osogbo Old Boys Association, Moshood Lagbaja stated that the military could not release his remains to the family, but assured that he would be given a befitting burial in Abuja. The deputy spokesman of the House of Representatives, Philip Agbesa, says his decision to lead parliamentary support for President Bola Tinubu's tax reform bills currently before the National Assembly stems from the need to stimulate the economy and establish a streamlined tax administration system free from multiple taxation. President Tinubu had submitted 4 tax reform bills to the National Assembly for consideration based on recommendations from the Presidential Committee on Fiscal and Tax Reforms, led by Taiwo Oyedele, to review existing tax laws. The bills include the Nigeria Tax Bill 2024, aimed at providing a fiscal framework for taxation in the country, and the Tax Administration Bill, which seeks to offer a clear and concise legal framework for all taxes, reducing disputes. Kwara State government has urged public sector workers yet to register with the state's Residence Registration Agency to do so immediately, as failure to carry out this directive means non-payment of salary or bonuses in November. The State Commissioner for Finance, Dr. Awa Nuru, disclosed this in a statement in Ilorin, stating that the registration started in July and is empowered by law to have relevant data on every resident in the state. She said the registration allocates unique identities to each person for effective planning, resource management, and service delivery, as well as public safety. The commissioner noted that the registration into the Kwara State Residence Registration Agency is a vital step towards establishing a comprehensive and accurate database. She urged all the state employees who are yet to register to promptly complete their enrollment. Kebbi State Governor Nasiru Idris has sent a delegation to the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu and the Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa to request for immediate support following the attacks on Mera village, which resulted to the killing of 15 innocent villagers. A statement issued by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Communication and Strategy, Abdullahi Zuru, says the request is necessary considering the large number of the heavily armed bandits moving into the state from the neighboring Sokoto state. He says unless the joint teams of the Army, police and other security agencies already overstretched are giving immediate support, the northern part of Kebbi State, particularly Argungu Emirate, will soon be taken over by the strange terrorists. Governor Idris assured that the state government is prepared to provide whatever is required to save the lives and properties of the citizens of the state. Let's turn to other stories for you tonight. Ahead of the 2024 Ondo State gubernatorial election, Chairman Ayeyori Movement and Senator representing Ondo South, Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, has thrown his weight behind the All Progressives Congress. He made this known at the Ayeyori Convention at Fortune University in Igbotako Community, Okitipupa local government area of Ondo State. Global Television's Kikalamo Okere now reports.
It was like a carnival at the University of Fortune, Igbotako, as billionaire business mogul and senator representing Ondo South Senatorial District, Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, leading over 500,000 Asheyori movement to All Progressive Congress. Jimoh Ibrahim urged residents of Igbotako community in Okitipupa local government area to shun violence and come out en masse to vote for All Progressive Congress on November 16 governorship election.
Asheyori movement is an arm of APC, which I set up. And when I contested last time, I got 111,665 votes. That's a lot of votes. Now our membership are 520,000 across the state. And that's very significant to any political party that want to win an election. APC is our party. And no matter the political differences, we have to make sure that APC wins the election. And the national chairman has been on our neck, and we are happy that he came all the way from Abuja. That underscored the significance of Asheyori, and I can assure you next week we will vote massively for APC.
Many people have described you as a good philanthropist. What is the motivation? The chairman, All Progressive Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, says the convention is to motivate and encourage Asheyori members as well as appeal to them to come out en masse to exercise their franchise on the 16th of November. He applauds Senator Jimoh Ibrahim for laying a solid foundation in empowerment, infrastructure, among others, for the progress of the state.
I'm so happy to see this crowd. This crowd is intimidating. In fact, the quality of the crowd is also intimidating. The enthusiasm, the alertness, the preparedness for the coming election on the 16th November 2024, we are convinced you are ready for the election.
Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who was also represented by his deputy Olaide Adelami, praised Senator Jimoh Ibrahim for bringing development to the community. He also pleaded with the residents to vote for APC for transformative regime.
When I got to this place, I was marveled when I saw the level of infrastructure that has been planted and placed there. It's a common saying that whoever brings education brings light. He has brought light to...
However, a 1-minute silence was observed in honor of the late former governor Akeredolu Olarotimi. From Akure, Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News.
Well, thank you, Kikalomo. In a related development, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has disclosed that the Central Bank of Nigeria has received sensitive materials for Ondo State governorship election. The materials arrived at Akure, the state capital, and were conveyed by the Nigerian Air Force. INEC disclosed this via its official Twitter handle, stating that sensitive materials for the state's governorship election, scheduled for Saturday, 16th November 2024, have arrived in Akure and received by officials of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Away from election matters now, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, have expressed deep concerns over the rising cases of vandalism targeting transmission lines and towers. TCN's General Manager, Public Affairs, Ndidi Umba, made this known in a statement while reacting to the early Saturday destruction of the 330 kV Lokoja-Gwagwalada transmission line 1. She warned that this trend is severely disrupting the nation's power grid and infrastructure, noting that 2 spans of aluminium conductors from the line were stolen, with efforts underway to replace them. TCN revealed that while it is still supplying bulk power through Line 2, efforts are underway to source replacement aluminium conductors for the 2 spans stolen from Line 1. Edo State Governor-elect Senator Monday Okpebholo has appointed Fred Itwa as the Chief Press Secretary of the incoming administration. Itwa's appointment was announced in Abuja by the Governor-elect's media team. This is Okpebholo's first appointment ahead of his inauguration and the official handover of power by the outgoing administration of Governor Godwin Obaseki, which is scheduled for tomorrow. The Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development has decried the impact of building collapses across the country. The ministry assured that punitive measures would be imposed on those who violate building codes. Bala made this disclosure in Gombe at the opening of the 5-day 13th meeting of the National Council on Lands, Housing and Urban Development. Director of Planning, Research and Statistics at the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, Mohammed Bala, also said the efforts are ongoing to curb the issue. The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, says all arrangements have been made to elect a new set of leaders that will pilot the affairs of the association. This is coming amidst the pressing issues affecting the members, including a 3-month withheld salary. Reports say the association plans to change its leadership at the 3rd Quadrennial National Delegates Conference after completion of a 4-year tenure of the present leadership led by Comrade Mohammed Haruna Ibrahim. Addressing journalists at a press briefing in Abuja during the weekend ahead of the conference, SANU's national president, Ibrahim, explained that the union would be addressing key ongoing issues that remain in active discussions with the federal government. You're watching News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When News Prime returns tonight, Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria puts Nigeria's petrol landing cost at 971 naira per litre. We have those details as well as foreign and sports stories for you. After this break, please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on News Prime, everyone. Let's turn to business quickly. After 3 weeks of protracted negotiations, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has finally announced that it has reached an agreement with Dangote Refinery for its members to directly lift petrol from the facility. The association's national president, Abubakar Shetima, told journalists in Abuja that the agreement also covers the direct lifting of automotive gas oil and kerosene. Shetima called on marketers to support the refinery, emphasizing that such support would help boost Nigeria's economy. Oil marketers, including some IPMAN members, had previously insisted on importing petrol to compete with products produced by Dangote Refinery. The federal government has called on local and international investors to tap into the country's sugar markets, estimated at $2 billion. Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the National Sugar Development Council, NSDC, Kamara Barakin, noted that Nigeria's annual sugar consumption is between 1.4 and 1.6 million metric tons. Bakrin said the council is embarking on the investment drive through the aim of significantly reducing Nigeria's dependence on Brazil, from where it currently imports approximately 96% of its sugar needs. According to him, the Nigerian sugar market, valued at an estimated $2 billion, presents a profitable venture for investors due to the strong growing demand for domestic production, noting that the local production becomes even more advantageous amid currency fluctuations and that make imports costly. Data from the Central Bank of Nigeria shows that currency in circulation has reached an all-time high of 4.3 trillion naira as of August 2024. This is as currency outside the banks is racing neck to neck with the currency in circulation, growing from 3.86 trillion naira in August to 4.02 trillion naira in September. This rise in the currency circulation presents the increased economic activities and spending by people and businesses. This is also a result of increased revenue to all tiers of government, as well as the devaluation of the naira. The Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria has put the landing cost of premium motor spirit PMS, also known as petrol, at 971 naira per litre. The association said the estimated Nigeria's landing costs of petrol dropped by 20.34% to 971.57% per litre over the past 3 months. Despite the reduction, the retail price of petrol increased by 443 naira or 71.79% from 617 naira per litre on August 1, 2024. Let's take it international now. Russia has denied reports to call between President Vladimir Putin and United States President-elect Donald Trump on the Ukraine conflict and said it was no sign the West was ready for talks. The Washington Post had said that Trump had spoken by phone on Thursday with Putin, telling him not to inflame the conflict. Kremlin representative Dmitry Peskov denied the report, telling journalists it was false. A senior Ukrainian presidential official also said Kyiv was not informed of any call between Putin and Trump. In the meantime, Ukrainian authorities have issued widespread air raid alerts after a series of Russian airstrikes killed at least 6 people in the southern regions of Mykolaiv and Zaporizhzhia. The Ukrainian Air Force confirmed in a post on Telegram that Russian bombs were airborne, stating that attention, missile danger throughout Ukraine. MiG-31K takeoff. The attacks, which began early on Monday, left 5 dead in Mykolaiv, where several residential buildings had been set ablaze. Let's talk about the climate for a minute. The year 2024 has been declared hottest on record as COP29 opens with climate action plea. The year 2024 is said to be the hottest following a prolonged period of soaring global temperatures, as revealed in the report on the World Meteorological Organization's website. Issued on the opening day of COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, the WMO's State of the Climate 2024 update highlights the accelerating pace of climate change and its profound impact on societies and ecosystems across the world. Saudi state media says Arab and Muslim leaders have begun arriving in Saudi Arabia for a summit scheduled to focus on Israel's wars in Gaza and Lebanon. The Saudi Foreign Ministry announced the summit in late October during first meeting of an international alliance pushing for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Official Saudi press agency says attendees will discuss the continued Israeli aggression on the Palestinian territories and the Lebanese Republic, as well as the current developments in the region. It comes 1 year after a similar gathering in Riyadh of the Cairo-based Arab League and the Jeddah-based Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, during which leaders condemned Israeli forces' actions in Gaza as barbaric. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has called for immediate ceasefires in Gaza and Lebanon at the Joint Arab League and Organization of Islamic Cooperation Summit. Mohammed bin Salman says the international community must immediately halt the Israeli actions against the brothers in Palestine and Lebanon, condemning Israel's war on Gaza as a genocide. A United States man, Anthony Nephew, has shot himself, his wife, ex-partner, and 2 children after the November 5 election that brought President-elect Donald Trump into office. According to authorities who spoke to the New York Post, the 46-year-old Minnesota father had expressed anger over Trump's election. The shooter, aged 46, had a pattern of mental health issues. Duluth Police Chief Mike Shenowa said one day after authorities had found 5 people dead inside 2 homes in the city. Authorities found Anthony Nephew's ex-partner, Erin Abramson, 47, and their son, Jacob Nephew, 15, dead from apparent gunshot wounds inside their home on Thursday afternoon. Quite a shocking story there. Russian President Vladimir Putin has offered what he calls total support for Africa, including in the struggle against terrorism and extremism. The speech was read out at a summit in the Black Sea resort of Sochi by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to his African counterparts. Several African governments have cut ties with traditional Western allies and are looking to Moscow for help in tackling frequent attacks by jihadists. During the summit, Burkina Faso's Foreign Minister Karakumo Jean-Marie Traoré said Russia was a more suitable international partner than the former colonial power France. Let's get some excitement from the world of sports now. Anthony Davis and LeBron James have stirred as the Los Angeles Lakers have rallied to claim a 123-103 victory over the visiting Toronto Raptors. Davis scored 22 points in 26 minutes before leaving the game with an eye injury in the 3rd quarter as he tried to block a shot by the Raptors' Jacob Poeltl. The 31-year-old sustained a number of eye injuries last season, suffering a corneal abrasion in March against the Golden State Warriors before being hit again in the left eye in April against the Minnesota Timberwolves. James added 19 points, 16 assists, and 10 rebounds for his 2nd consecutive triple-double, with the 39-year-old becoming the oldest player in NBA history to achieve the feat. It was his 3rd triple-double of the season and the 115th of his career. Away from basketball now, Premier League referee David Cote has been suspended after a video allegedly showing him making derogatory comments about Liverpool, and the club's former manager Jurgen Klopp was circulated on social media. A referring body, PGMOL, says the suspension comes into force with immediate effect and is pending a full investigation. The video, widely shared on social media, is unclear whether it was filmed or its authenticity. Cote, 42, referred to Liverpool's 2-0 win against Aston Villa. He is one of the Premier League's most experienced officials and has been refereeing matches in the top flight since 2018. As we end the News Prime now on Global Television, let's quickly bring you some of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu has expressed support for a 2-state solution in Gaza with a demand to end Israeli aggression. The federal government has moved to tackle building collapses, vowing strict sanctions against defaulters. In business, Central Bank of Nigeria data has indicated that currency in circulation has sustained growth at 4.3 trillion naira. On the foreign scene, President Putin has offered African countries Russia's total support. Finally, in sport, we told you Premier League referee Cote has been suspended over alleged video. And that's it on News Prime, and it came to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times 276, and free to air on Nightcomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms, now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I'm Uya Agmofwebe. On behalf of the entire production team here at Global Television World Headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, we say thank you for watching and see you again.